Hey everybody, it's Chris from CRT Sports Cards, and welcome to the series called Furloughed. Hey everybody, it's day number 4 of Furloughed. It is April 16th, 9:20 in the morning here in Seattle. Hopefully you guys are having a great week and you are getting ready for the weekend. But yesterday for us was a pretty eventful day from the outside perspective, but I will say the week it feels like it's moving a little slower. It's typically in the work week, Thursday comes around, it feels it's only been a couple of days. I can really feel it, how the days are slowing down and how the days are no longer in a sense. So it's a kind of a weird feeling. Hopefully I will make it through the next 6 to 7 weeks, but this is kind of why I started putting these things together to sort of have a routine, a schedule, just because I can feel the days are longer than they've ever been for me in the perspective of not working versus working. Yesterday, as you guys saw on Twitter, I did get one of the rhododendron bushes out, one of the stumps. That was a lot of fun. Took probably about 30 minutes to dig that hole up and then to pull it out. I did have a irrational fear that if I stepped in that hole, I was going to like fall through the earth or something. But I was very careful when I was putting the dirt back in and making sure that the hole is compact. I think I probably should add some dirt to it to make it a little better, but it was really funny as I was taking a photo of it and then putting dirt back in, how I was terrified of putting my foot into it, thinking I was going to fall through something. So that was interesting. In the backyard, I'm redoing section by section when it comes to planting seed. Probably, I think, not the best time in the Northwest. I think the best time is the fall for seed, but, got to start it now. I planted a good, I think, 10 by 6 section, 65 square feet. Went down to McClendon's yesterday. They had a deal where it was buy 2, get 1 free on their sort of homemade or home brand lawn fertilizer, or the topsoil in a sense. So I was able to, I went to get 10 bags, ended up with 15, so that was fun. Really, really dirty moving that from my car to the backyard, but today is going to be all about the front yard. I've got a sliver of grass in the front that is poana that I do want to dig up and then use the remaining 6 bags of topsoil and reseed that, and hopefully the front will be done for the time being. Also, if you are into gardening or just lawn care work, I did find this really cool YouTube channel called How To with Doc. He's got about 137,000 subscribers. Really, really instructional. He's a professional landscaper. He has an incredible yard. It is Bermuda, what he uses, or his grass type. I think he's like in North Carolina. But he does have some other videos up for different grass types, but they're really educational and they really show you how to maintain your lawn. I've watched countless videos over the past couple of days of How To with Doc. So if you're looking for something new to watch, check out that video. But to the content of the day, I don't have a question per se, but I do have a thought process that I wanted to share, and this is called having perspective. And I think it's about having perspective when it comes to the great debate of Scotch tape and painter's tape. But let's get to that in 1 second. So there's no other topic on Twitter that gets people more riled up than Scotch tape, painter's tape, or no tape on a top loader. So the thought process today is having perspective when that does happen to you. And I think I'm going to explain it to everyone here from the perspective of being a seller versus a buyer. Yes, I do buy T206 cards. I do buy Mariners 70 out of 76 Independence Day parallels, but a majority of my mail days or mail packages are outgoing versus incoming. So I'll try to explain this to you guys from the perspective of the seller. It is, though, very easy to fall into the trap as a buyer and blasting sellers for using Scotch tape, but I think we got to be careful with that because there's a reason why they use Scotch tape. But from the seller's perspective, what is our responsibility? Number 1, we have to list the card properly. Number 2, we have to take the right photos or the right scans. And then number 3, the most important thing here is we have to ship it, and we have to ship it to make sure it gets there safely. We as sellers are on the hook until the card makes it to the buyer and the buyer says either yes, it's good, or they never say anything and they go on with their merry way. Feedback is a good way to to reconcile the sale, to say, hey, I'm good on my end, you're good on your end, let's part ways this way. But Scotch tape on a top loader is meant to ensure the card doesn't come out. The seller doesn't understand how you collect. They don't understand if you put your card in a binder page or a card saver or a card saver 2. All that they're worried about is getting that card to their buyer safely. And Scotch tape meets that obligation. Yes, it would be great if people use painter's tape, but painter's tape is expensive. Not everyone is buying painter's tape. Not everyone is factoring in the shipping costs 6 rolls of painter's tape. Most people just have Scotch tape at their house and are just putting it on the top loader. It's actually being a buyer-centric move to put Scotch tape on the top loader because it ensures that it arrives safely. Secondarily here, from a buyer's perspective, when we get a top loader in the mail, I know when I do, I always swap it out. Yes, as a seller here, I include a brand new top loader with every card purchase, but I don't know how many of those get thrown away or tossed when the seller gets it in. So the seller could be thinking the buyer is just going to swap this card out and put it in however form they store their cards. We all have different levels of excitement for cards, and some people could be putting a base card in a mag, and other people who put stuff in mags who put it in sleeves. So the seller's perspective is I don't know how this person collects, but I'm going to get them this card to them safely. And that's how Scotch tape gets into the play. And I don't think Scotch tape's ever going to go away. No matter how many tweets out there are about Scotch tape, it's never going to go away. It's just a staple of our world, and that's what's going to be for many, many, many years. It'd be great if everyone used painter's tape, but that's just not going to happen. So I think when you get a package in the mail and it has Scotch tape on the top of the top loader, instead of blasting the seller, that you should almost message the seller and say, thank you. Thank you for taking the step to get that card to me safely, making sure it didn't come out of the top loader. Because we've all had mail days where the card's not taped, the card comes out, dings, corners are dinged. It's just a nightmare altogether. And those are the moments where we're saying, I wish that seller had used tape. So just have perspective when you get your mailings in. If your card arrives undamaged, that's awesome. Great job. Thank the seller. Leave them feedback. Go on with your day. But I just think blasting a seller for using Scotch tape, maybe the only form of tape they have in their house, I think it's just the wrong move because they're doing everything they can to get the card to you safely. So those are my thoughts on Scotch tape versus painter's tape. It's a debate that will rage for a very long time. But I think as a buyer, we should have the proper perspective on why it was used. And as a seller, I would recommend using painter's tape, but that's not something that we can legislate hobby-wide in a sense. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. If you like the content, if you like the channel, please subscribe to the channel overall, or subscribe to the podcast. The audio format now is available on Google, not on Apple yet, but a lot of other ones I've never heard of, but they are out there. So guys, a thumbs up, thumbs down, comments greatly appreciated. Have a great day and talk to you guys tomorrow.